A huge shout out to the overthinkers.
An overthinker. He watches the show.
To the overthinkers, shout out Buffet too.
All about Fetu, this is Parker, yeah. Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Thando kuphela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke buphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is Jordaan Mokwena. I am your host. This, of course, is the Thursday show. And because we've had so many watch-alongs and we've been watching so much other football, we haven't been able to talk about the matches that have happened with the big three over the past week. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to speak about Kaizer Chiefs versus Stellenbosch. We're going to speak about Swallows versus Pirates. And then, of course, we're going to speak about mamelodi Sundowns versus Richards Bay. That is the order we're going to speak about it. Welcome, everybody. The show is on every Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. And then tomorrow, Fridays, are my members' shows. Those happen at 12:30 for the people that contribute, the breadwinners of my show. Those guys get a show of their own where they pick the topics, they talk. It's a group setting. The call comes from our WhatsApp group. If you want to be part of the WhatsApp group, head on over to YouTube. Click on subscribe, click on join, you'll gain access, and I'll be able to hear from more of you. Guys, I've met some incredibly smart people over my time having this platform, and it's really great to have a place where we can actually talk freeform for more than 2 hours at a time, and we can teach each other and show each other things and banter each other and do all of those very nice things that we do on that side. Guys, if you've ever listened to the show before, you know that there's voices on my show. The voices come from TikTok. So if you want to be part of the discussion live and add your voice to the show, just make sure that you're following me on TikTok and join me now. Those are on YouTube. Join me now while I'm on TikTok, and you'll be able to call in via the multi-guest feature. And there'll come a time where I'll say, I'm opening up the lines. Bottom of your screen, there'll be a blue figure hugging a pink figure that says multi-guest. Click on that request and add your voice to the show live, because this show is all about you guys and me hearing from you guys. So, hey, because I know that Chiefs fans, I know, Lapagu Chiefs, I know, I understand. We wanted so much, man. I want to bat Jimang about two. I want to that doing all these different things. Parok Salayo, man. It's just sad. It's just sad. And I know you guys don't want to speak to me. I know you guys don't want to speak to me anymore, but we have to start off with Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs played Stellenbosch on Tuesday, and they lost 1-0. 19 shots on target for Kaizer, 19 shots, 5 shots on target for Kaizer Chiefs, 13 shots from Stellenbosch, 3 on target. Chiefs, surprise, had 61% of the possession versus 39. We had more passes, 504 versus 302. We even had better pass accuracy at 85% versus Stellenbosch's 68%. But at the end of the day, we lost. Stellenbosch carries on being the second best team in the league. They are currently number 2, 21 games played, 11 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses for 38 points. And then, of course, Kaizer Chiefs is at number 8, just barely holding on to that top 8 spot with 22 games played, 18 wins, 6 draws, and 8 losses for a total of 30 points. Now, very quickly on the game before I open up the lines. Look, I still don't know. I still don't know what Chiefs' plan is. I still don't know what the defending is. I don't know what the setup is, the formation. I don't know what the plan to score is. It honestly feels like they don't even train. It feels like they just go out there to play a game. Stellenbosch played a stellar first half. Stellar first half. They completely dominated us, got their goal. Second half, they started strong. Then they realized, good time, man. So if I was to sum up Chiefs' plan,
And we even have transition and what. Sometimes I don't even understand what they're saying. They say, hey, these guys are talking serious stuff. I mean, just win the game, guys.
And we saw changes happening where other players were brought in. He's going with this lineup of Vuma, Msimango, Dove, Shanti, Ukwinika. Then you have Mtetwas Tebe, Shawalala, Patrice Motsepe, and Duba, right? Within 2 minutes of that game, you could tell that the left-hand side of Chiefs' defense was going to be the problem. And you could tell that this time, Ubaka came prepared. The past 5 games that Chiefs the 5 games before that one, that Chiefs had played Stellenbosch, Chiefs had won 4 of them. Chiefs had won 4 of them. The last time we saw Stellenbosch, we had beaten them 2-0 under Unzeki, if I'm not mistaken. So I thought it was going to be a win, but then that left-hand side and Abo Shanti came up. They were exploited by Abu Titus and they were able to get their goal. Stellenbosch should have been up 3 by the end of the first half, but they just couldn't take their chances and couldn't make the right decisions. Speaking of right decisions, Kaizer Chiefs, when they're attacking, we don't know where to go, where to play, where to pass, how to build and how to do all of those things. And it really is a tough time right now over there on the field. Now, thank you, TJ, for reminding me. Before we get too far, rest in peace to Luke Fleurs. He had signed for Kaizer Chiefs, I think a couple of months back. Hadn't played a game yet for Kaizer Chiefs, but he was one of our players coming from Supersport. Had been training with the club for a very long time. It's so sad to lose players, especially when it's a senseless hijacking where he was, I don't know if I can say that on TikTok, but there was an incident that happened and he lost his life. So rest in peace to Luke Fleurs. Your condolences to the Flus family before we get too far ahead, guys. Thank you guys for, well, we'll see how it plans out. Yo, guys, it's never nice to lose a life. We're still going to hear from the PSL whether the match that is meant to be played on Saturday is going to be postponed. But yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm going to open up, guys. Let's have a conversation about the game. And then we'll go into the other ones. So the lines are open. Remember that you have to be following me in order to jump in. And maybe at the start of your comments, let's just pay respects to the Flus family. And then you can go into how you felt about the game, and I'll ask you a question or two. Guys, we are doing 3 games today, so let's try be as quick as possible with our replies and our questions and our comments, so that we can allow more people space and we can get to the other get to the other people. Let's see. And today, how are you?
I'm fine, Senna. How are you?
I'm good. I think let's start off with just a bit of remembrance for Luke Fleurs, before we get into it.
Yeah, it's a painful story. It's very, very sad to lose a player. Happiness, he was still young. I think his future was cut short. Condolences to his family and his team, his other players.
Okay, I think there was just a problem with the sound. But anyway, Anthony, how did you see the game?
My man, I was not in the stadium, but I watched the game. But the problem with Kaizer Chiefs, I think, is the same problem with Orlando Pirates. These players, I don't think they're helping the coach sometimes to win matches, because Kaizer Chiefs have been changing coaches and so many times, but this still results are not coming. Yeah, I think these players, they don't know the importance of playing for Kaizer Chiefs or Orlando Pirates. They just play to get paid at the end of the month, but the commitment you can see, even if they are playing, there's no commitment. That's my overall view of the game. There's no commitment in those players.
But then what's going to change it? If now we've changed coaches 3 times, Tshwane, to Ntseki, to Johnson, we're still facing the same problems. It seems like all 3 coaches keep picking the same players, or at least playing them in the same type of structure. What's going on there, Chiefs, man?
I think maybe there's a problem behind the scenes that we don't know. Because like I'm saying, if those players, if you watch them playing, it's not interesting at all. There is nothing interesting what they're doing. Whether they lose or they win, the mood is very low. Sometimes I think there's a problem in the back room that need to be attended.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't be changing coach each and every month, but still keeping same players who are not willing to play for the club.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's my overall.
I'm gonna come back. Please stay on. I'm gonna come back. Let me bring in Agent. Agent, welcome to the show. Can you start us off with just a tribute or remembrance of Luke Flores?
Yeah, that is such a painful thing, especially when it's unexpected like this. I hope the Flores family are going to be given time to mourn that kid, and we as fans, you should give them that space and you shouldn't come up with any funny thing, and as the Bible says, blessed are those who mourn, they'll be comforted, and I hope the Flores family will be comforted in these difficult times, yeah, I think that's what I can say for them,
Hey guys, Agent, tell me, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, I'm a placeholder here. As more Chiefs fans come in, take me out, because I was worried that people are not here and you're speaking alone.
Chiefs fans don't want to speak to me anymore. Chiefs fans don't want to speak to me.
But back on the topic, actually, I forgot something. That I think maybe we saw with Brass Creamer. I think he was attacked also. I think maybe it's high time that clubs, players invest a bit of more time, of more money and security, especially when players are coming from camp and everything, So I think that's something that the PSL has to look into, yeah. But onto the game, a wise man once said, some people I'll never call them back into the national team. Yeah. I don't know what's difficult, because sometimes there are players who are good. It is an acorn mass. I don't know what's happening, but it's okay. Sometimes when you see a player's lacking, you need to give him special sessions. Udu Praise is not a bad player. I think he's one of the best players in PSL. But he lacks finishing. That's the only thing that he lacks. So when a player lacks one thing, and there are many players who lack a lot of things, you have to invest in that player so that at least he maximizes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if Chiefs as a strikers coach, I think they have to invest in one if he's not there, or even just insource him for maybe a month or something, and see if he can't, outsource him. I mean, this is his skills.
Okay.
And the buzzword that we hear nowadays is corrections. I wonder if Chief does corrections on Udu Praise. That guy, my guy, when you get there, relax, and he just needs to relax. Not that his technique is bad. His technique is always good if you look at it. It's only that he's in a rush and he ends up putting more pressure. Sometimes put a little pressure. So it's small things that can be coached out of him, And I feel like it's something that needs to be on him. And then I thought Chiefs looked better with Terence Stebe, to be fair, I don't know why the coach took Stebe out, because I feel like for me the combination was working well, and Chiefs looked a bit more balanced. I think we saw the best of Tetra, and I think this was one of Stebe's best games, so that was wrong. And also, I think Uduba got injured in the game, right, if I recall well.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I think it was because he was running all over. When you're a youngster, yes, you have the energy, but if you are the main man, just tell the boy to stay in the box. I think that was more or less about Chiefs that I can talk about in terms of tactics.
But then I wanna ask you. You know, I hear what you're saying about corrections, and I hear what you say about those type of things. But for me, when I watch Kaizer Chiefs, I feel as though it's a whole bunch of good players that were good where they came from. Wherever they came from, they were good. When they get to Kaizer Chiefs, something happens. I don't know what it is, but they no longer play as well as they used to. Is it maybe a problem with the setup, the structure, more than the actual technique of the players? And maybe Dupree is only looking bad now because he's been there for so long that maybe whatever that Chiefs has seeped into him.
I don't think Dupree is bad, actually. I think he's very good, just that his technique. But then the overall team now is the one that you can see, actually, as a collective, that kind of bad, you know? Except Kante has always been an N1. Zitale on that position is an N1. I would rather have Emerson, maybe, and Macheka swap positions, if anything. But anyways, I think the problem is the system.
Yeah.
And I see the system in the sense that, look at your players. Your players are more of a Pirates kind of system than a Sundowns kind of system.
Okay.
In the sense that you look at your players, Omori, Dupree, Shavalala, Duba, very quick players. You know? So why don't you guys, I don't want to say swallow your pride, but because I don't think it's such a bad thing, to be honest with you, but play Baxter ball. You guys played most of your most beautiful football under Baxter. And you guys call it a transition, which was basically like counter-attack with a fancy name, you know? So why can't you go back to that? Because you have the names, you know, and even when you are taking, you have the protection of Umteto, you know, and you are not making Motaung or Macheke to do fancy things and pass the ball, which they don't know how to do, and cross the ball, because for them, is for pick a ball, you know, give it to Oshabalala or Mtetra, give it to Brizo or Duba, the through pass. That's a simple thing that you can do. And you guys look threatening every time you did a counter attack. So why can't you just stick to that, you know? So I think it's a system thing.
Now I've been saying, but yeah, you know what? We don't know anything. We don't have licenses, agent. Let me go to Fundo. Welcome to the show, and maybe start us off with just a moment to reflect on that on Luke Flu's passing before we get into it.
Hello everyone. Okay, let us send our condolences to the family. I hope they'll be grieving enough and able to get over it. But then it's life. We need to learn and get over it. Okay, let us sort out in the Chiefs. You remember the last time we spoke about the Sundown development and each and everything? The structure of the Sundown from the head to the toe of Sundown. That thing we should apply it same to Kaizer Chiefs. Remind me one thing, who's the scouting agent when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs?
The head scout.
Yes.
It's meant to be Kevin Johnson.
It meant to be, but it's not the one who's scouting for the players.
Yeah.
Kaizer Chiefs does not have a structure, a well-built structure that is able to go outside and scout a good team. You understand? So, but then if you're not able to get good quality material for the club, then you won't be able to win any games. You buy players and put them together, and you're expecting what? There's no. It's if they no longer have the philosophy of the game, they're just playing for fun and each and everything just to go around. You need to have a philosophy, then understand which players you need to buy for that certain team, so that at the end of the day you'll get the good results. Check the last 3 window periods. How many players have been brought to Chiefs? What impact they put on the team, which results they have. And another thing that kills Kaizer Chiefs is this salary things. You cannot tell me that there's a player that will going to be paid 1.4 million, then the other one it's 250, 150, 800. You see that gap of salaries also kills the teams. Why it's so hard for Kaizer Chiefs to not go to the media and tell people that who's getting paid how much, who's getting paid how much? When was the last time you saw Kick and Dole playing? When was the last time you saw Kick and Dole playing the football? But he's
Very
the
long
highest,
time.
the
Apparently
highest
he's
paid
broke his
player.
toe.
Highest paid in Kaizer Chiefs. If you check the last 6 games, he's not there. He's not even in the bench, always on the grandstand. Then you're expecting other players to play.
But then how do you fix it then?
Some other certain things.
How do you fix it on the pitch? Because for me, like I said to Agent, we know where these players come from. We know what they were before they got to Kaizer Chiefs. For some reason, when they get to Kaizer Chiefs, all of the good that they were good at, all the things they were good at, all go away. Or for some reason, you know, lo akakwazi ukufinisha, lo akasakwazi ukudefenda, lo akasakwazi ukumarka, lo akasakwazi ukupasa.
Okay, let me just give you a good example. You remember when Nekovic came to Kaizer Chiefs? They were able to pass him right. Right? He was able to score, do each and everything. When his salary was reviewed, this is how much he's earning. His performance came down. Why don't you ask yourself that? Players made the decision, which we cannot pass that man because he's getting paid more than me. Mina ngokwami ngidlala ibhola ngeke ngiphasele umuntu ohola ngidlula kumina. It's either ngilifaka phambili kakhulu noma ngilifake ngemuva. That somenza ukuthi aluze ini ilona iperformance to adrobhe ukulona ukuscore ama-goals. Emva kwalokhu bayamkhipha. Sesizophaselana sodwa thina esilingane ngemali nokuthi imali yethu iyafana. Sophaselana sodwa. Wena ngeke sikunike ibhola. So either solifaka le phambili kakhulu noma silifake ngemuva. So at the end of the day azobona ukuthi coach, no, this guy is getting paid for nothing. Akasizi ngalutho. Ambekele kuma-grandstand. Sale thina esinemali-ke eyincane siqhubeke sidlale. So i-teams ibulalele yona abadlali ngenxa yemali. So imali has destroyed Kaizer Chiefs and the philosophy yakhona. I don't know how they will fix it, but nje it's been destroyed and you cannot say it's not true. Go and check iGame Chiefs. iGame Chiefs is no longer an entertaining game.
Yeah.
Omunye ufuna ukuyiprove ipoint yakho ukuthi udlala kanjani nomunye udlala kanjani. So that is killing football at Kaizer Chiefs.
Okay. I'm going to come back. Debza, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, my man. Nara we naga for the league and the Champions League, my guy.
I go England. Debza, tell me.
Not in South stress go to England, like.
Compare kale ka condolence, Pratebza, for Luke Flores who passed away last night.
Yeah, it's a very, very sad situation, my guy. The player, he was a promising player, even though he was already 24. But then he was better than most of the players that we are seeing right now. You understand? We've been following him, we've been seeing him playing, but then it's a very bad situation. It's very hard, you know, when you are about to make it in football to come to the limelight, to enjoy your career, then your career is being cut short by death. It's very sad for him as a player and his whole family. It's very sad, my guy. It's not nice. Yeah.
Debza, tell me about this game. What did you think about Stellenbosch Chiefs?
I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I mean, Mr. OT, we've been talking almost every week about Chiefs chopping and changing. We don't know who's going to play where. You understand? It's very difficult. It means this type of situations. It shows that even the coach himself doesn't know what he's doing. You understand? If you keep chopping and changing ever since you came to the team, even now you're still chopping and changing, it means you don't even know what you are doing yourself. You don't know where you are going. You understand? It means every player there at Kaizer Chiefs, you don't see any good player because of this player plays this week, next week is changing. You understand? So now, you look at our defense. Let's look at our defense there. Winika, Simango, Dove, Santi. Next game you'll find who do you call Solomons or Frostlat there or Mashiane or Ngobo. The next game another one. You understand? We've said it before that when you want to win, make sure that your defense is strong. They say attackers will win you games, defense will win you trophies. You understand? So if your defense you keep chopping and changing, nothing will work out. Nothing will work out. You need to have your consistent defenders that you trust, that you know that this is my best center back pairing. You understand? I don't know why he's not playing Nsimango and Ngobo consistently. So he must play them until they are fine. We know who they are our best defenders there. You understand? Mokwena, they've been given a chance. Many times they're even being shifted there to right back. It means the guy is not good enough because his primary role is center back. So if he can't play that center back, how do you expect him to perform at right back where there's a lot of pacey wingers there? He can't even cope with low pace strikers, but then you want him to cope with pacey wingers there. Why do you shift him to his secondary position when they are naturally right backs in our team that are very good in Frostla and Solomons? Why? Why are you doing that? I'm sure if we can ask him this question, he won't be able to answer us. That's a fact. Then we come into midfield. Midfield there, we are already in a season where we know that we won't win anything. We are out of all the cup games. We are way off Mamelodi Sundowns. Why do you keep playing the players that didn't give you didn't give you anything the whole season? Play the youngsters. Play that Tshwane there. Play Tshwane. Play the youngsters that will give us something in the future. Play them. We have nothing to lose, guys. We have absolutely nothing to lose. Play those players that were promoted from the DDC. Show us why they are here. Give them the chance, because if we were competing for the title, they were going to say no. We don't want to throw them into the deep end. We are chasing the league. These games are serious, my guy. All the games are serious. You promoted. You guys said it the last time you were talking about Chiefs. Sorry. Why were they promoted in the first place? These young boys, if they are not going to be given a chance, give these boys a chance, because the so-called experienced players, they're not giving it. They're even worse. Santi is even worse than Martian. It's even worse. You understand? So play Martian, who's better, who's younger, who has a future in Kaizer Chiefs. Santi can retire next season, but we still playing him now. What do we expect Santi to do next season? What do you expect him to do next season? We play Modi there, even though Modi is very bad. Understand? We are not, my guy. Who's this boy? The 16-year-old boy, Fundo? Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Let him finish the season. The season is already over for Kaizer Chiefs. That's what I'm saying. I'm expecting when I tune in to watch Kaizer Chiefs to watch this young. I want to see these young players, because we've given these boys, these experienced guys, a chance. We've given they all managed to knock us out in every competition. We've been eliminated in all the competitions while we were playing them. Yeah. So if we ask them, why should we play you now, guys, when we are playing for nothing? Why should we play you? They won't give us any reasons. So now, at least with these young boys, when we are playing them, we have a reason now. We are grooming them so that they can handle the league next season. They can handle these games. Let them feel this pressure right now. You understand? Let them get used to it. Let them play amongst each other so that they can get used to each other. I feel that these boys are not combining very well because they're not used to playing with each other week in, week out. Let them play. I believe for these players, they are good players. As you were saying, these players are very good. We have very good players. We don't have a coach that can manage those players. We don't have a coach that can manage those players. You understand? We don't have a coach that can coach them.
I'm going to jump in because that's what I want to ask next. Agent,
Yeah.
For me, it feels as though we've got every excuse but the actual gameplay. I mean, anybody who's watched Chiefs a couple of weeks in a row, you can tell what the weaknesses are. You can tell where players like Kemang, on the right-hand side, you put Dupreez, he's a striker. So already you know that on the right-hand side, he's not going to be able to cross that ball. He's not going to be centrally running in order to make my defense scared. We know that Santi is going to be an issue on the left-hand side. And I think Barker took advantage of that. At what point do we ask the coaches that, okay, fine, your hands might be tied in terms of transfers and things like that, but we can't keep seeing the same players do the same things. How do we, why are coaches allowed to just do those things? I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I think one of the good days would return to Abutitewo's point, the Cinco Sim approach with youngsters. I think I've been letting them sing for a very long time now, but we'll come back to that another time. But excuse me, to your question, I don't know. Maybe it has to take a European coach to say it and for European people to talk about it before we can adopt it. Because in theory, I don't know about the practical work of it. I'm just speaking about it in theory, right? Okay. Yes, we have video analysis, right? Every team has video analysis, right? So video analysts, what do they do? You know, because I want to take it from there first, that okay, they analyze the game, this is where we went wrong, this is how we went wrong, this is how we can improve, right? And this is how the team was able to be better than also win the game, you know? That's like the basics of it. Now the question then becomes, do you do that kind of analysis for each and every player? You know? That's going to be a bit hard.
Okay.
You know, because there's many players, 11, but anyways, you can do that, you can do it, you know? And we look at Sundowns. In theory, like I said, I don't know how it works in practical, we have it in theory. The way they're explaining it is coaches sit down, they analyze the game, this way players, we went wrong as the technical team, this is how I got it wrong. Many times Glenn would say, we had a bad game after this, like I watched the game, actually I was wrong, we had a good game, which means he analyzed himself, he analyzed the game, this way we went wrong, this way we went right. And then each individual player analyzes his own game. It's like, okay, I received the ball at this minute, I should have turned and I should have passed this way instead of that way, you know? And the reason I was doing that was because maybe I didn't scale. You see, you're giving players homework, you know? Kind of like, where did you go wrong, you know? And how could you improve that? So when you're able to analyze your game, as an individual, you're able to easily identify your mistakes and you correct them. You know, hence the term corrections, the buzzword corrections. Even as the technical team, you know, because I doubt if teams implemented that, you know, would see repetition of the same thing, because then it means your team talks are the same things over and over again, you know. Even you would feel ashamed as a technical team or as a player repeating the same thing over and over again, that as Dupreez, when I reached the forward line, I rushed my shot. You can say that week in and week out and not be embarrassed. I'm sure at some point you have to be embarrassed and to work on that, you know? So I think it goes there from analyst to the team to the players. That what are you guys doing to correct yourself at each and every level, you know? Because it's a circus that if I, in my naked eye, I barely watch a game twice, you know? I watch it once, and I can see what Dupreez did wrong. I can see what another player did wrong, you know? But what about you who have a benefit of watching the game again, and you can slow it down, and you can pause, and you can do those kinds of things? I'm sure you can identify the same mistakes that I identify at first glance, you know? So I think it's again a case of, that we always talk about, that maybe some coaches or some players don't want to involved with the game. They're still stuck on the old ways. We win the game or we draw the game, the following day we do a training session, we run around, we do rondos, we do whatever, even if you do a video analysis, you just pinpoint the mistakes that certain players did, and then that's it. You can't go anywhere with that. Like I said, maybe it has to come from Pep, Guardiola, Pep Guardiola and Klopp and the likes, that maybe we can see the sense in what Sundowns is doing, because it makes a lot of sense, in my opinion.
Fundo, I want to ask you the same question, but I'm going to break it in two. Number one, now Coach Chiefs, he comes in, you can see that things are wrong on the pitch, but I got change for the following day, for the following match. Number one, you see that there's problem players, they don't get taken out from the team. What's going on that side? But then also on the player side, maybe I'm in the wrong position, maybe coach has put me in the wrong place, my tactics are wrong. But at some point, man, corner lento, like a want that it doesn't matter. I need to run more. I need to do more. I need to learn. I need to adapt, or even if in chinchi position, just to try and win this game and show some fight. What's wrong there on both sides?
We should raise a concern. Yoguchi is not the one who's picking up the lineup. The lineup has been given to him. Whether the player is doing good or the player is not doing good. We need to understand that. We need to firstly understand that. As a coach, you cannot keep on bringing one and the same player who's not giving you good results. Chiefs got a lot of players. Why don't you rotate the scheme? Why don't you give other players some chances, improve themselves? So if you're going to put the same people over and over again, then you're expecting good results. What kind of football are you showing us? Are you showing us the development, or are you failing to run the team? Which means there's a lot of problems in Kaizer Chiefs. They're only able to point the fingers to and say, this and that. Check the transfer windows. How many players did Chiefs bought in? So at the end of the day, we'll be able to say, okay, fine. Chiefs is able to buy players, but the coach is not able to mix that material and give the good results. We need to check that. You cannot run a team with the same players more than 3 seasons. A season, it's enough for a player to play. Another season, bring another player that will be able to give that player a competition, will raise the standards of that player to make sure that, I'm not the only one who's playing this position. I need to up my game. When it comes to Kaizer Chiefs players, they don't have that card to say, I'm going to improve my play, I'm going to impress the coach. They know that they are just there to make money. End of the day, they forget about each and everything. There's a lot of things that is going on that camp that we're not able to pick up as people that support the teams and what. The teams got a lot of thing that they are facing that we're not able to pick up. That's why you see, at the end of the day, I was so surprised when this guy, the Peterson, who stand up and became a coach on the Soweto derby. That was so not right. As a coach, you need to maintain your standards. But when there's a time that there's a player that is able to compete with you, which means there's a lot of things that is going on the club that we're not able to pick up as fans and supporters. But when it comes to each and everything, the Kaizer Chiefs players are not serious. They are not serious when it comes to playing football or impressing anything. Like, they are playing it for fun. Like, each and every time when you watch the Chiefs, you need to understand that you're watching a comedy. You're going to laugh, you're going to see things that they're not able to be seen when it comes to football. That game when they played Stellenbosch, no one was like, I'm playing, I wanted to score. They were like, pass the ball. They just finished that whole 90 minutes and go back. We're waiting for money and be getting paid. Like, as a coach, go to social media and say, guys, don't blame me. I'm facing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The past coach was facing this. This is what I'm experiencing. Don't blame me when it comes to the team is not able to perform, give you a good result. Like, go out there and speak. Because end of the day, we're blaming the coach to say, the coach is not able to give the good results. How are you supposed to give the good results when you don't have a good material, when you don't have a good scouting team, when you don't have good technical team? You just you're just a puppet. They're just a puppet.
But then, Fundo,
Till they are running.
are we letting them off the hook? Because for me, even if you're just a puppet, salary yako haiti puppet mangen. You know? So I can't feel sorry for a coach that knowingly would go into a situation where they get given starting lineups, so they get given certain requirements of players and things like that. Oksala, I'm still going to look at the person and say, hey, Mara Johnson, as you said, Bagnigas the team, can I make this team work? Can I make these players work? Because for me, my problem is that at a player level, at a coaching level as well, you don't see anything.
It's not like he does not see anything. He does not have a say to anything. That's the thing. If you don't have a say when it comes to a team, you cannot do anything. You will just listen and do what they tell you to do. End of the day, they care about their merchandising, making money through their merchandising. They no longer care about the team. If they truly care about the team, probably they will do something to bring season about the kids, how they perform, how things run in the Kaizer Chiefs and so forth. So end of the day, you cannot tell me that the supporters are always complaining about the one thing, then you don't fix that. How is that even possible? So there's a lot of things that is going on in the Kaizer Chiefs.
For time's sake, guys, I'm just going to have to rush you guys because we still have 2 other matches to speak about. Let me go to Tebza. Tebza, I feel like we're letting everybody off the hook here. We're letting the players off the hook. We're letting coach off the hook. Management is off the hook. Kariman, wait, it's like we don't know football. Like, I watched Chiefs we watched on the show over and over and over again. And we all know the problems. I know the problems. You know the problems. Sundowns fans are in the comments. Know the problems at Kaizer Chiefs. But nobody is changing anything. Santi is a problem on the left-hand side. Santi plays every game. When he gets injured, he goes off injured. When it's time, when he's fit, he comes back into the team. Keegan Dolly, they say he broke his toe. The moment he's fit, he comes back into the team. I don't understand that can we run a football club that way? And are we just hiding these people? Because guys, you don't see anything.
Yeah, it's frustrating because now we see a lot of problems and no one is wrong here. If someone says it's management, we can see what the management does wrong. When someone says it's the coach, we can see what the coach is doing wrong. When someone says it's the players, we can see where are the players getting it wrong. You understand? So all those factors show us that Kaizer Chiefs is not something that will get well now, because it needs a total makeover, because it's a whole lot of things. It just needs to be started afresh, honestly, because there's nothing there. When you look, I like it when you make an example, Sundowns, and people be thinking, you are comparing it to Sundowns. You want it to be like Sundowns. No, Sundowns is the benchmark, my guy. It has shown us that it is possible. You understand? It has shown us that it's possible. So why not? Why not aspire to be like Sundowns? Not to play like Sundowns, but to be at a standard. Sundowns, we must be there. That's
crazy, Debza. For me, I don't even want them to be there. I just want to see a functional thing. Because of 1, 2, 3, 4, or it was a tactical thing or something like that. Mara, day in and day out, we don't know how the midfield is meant to work. We don't know how the defense is meant to work. We don't know how the strikers are meant to work. All I need is function. Mirandop was so nice because we knew it was the helicopter. We knew exactly how the helicopter worked. The players understood the helicopter.
Because I was watching this other highlights on YouTube. The 2004, 5 or 2003, 2004, when we were playing 4-4-2 with Radebe and Besuma with Skara and Tentrepulanatas on the wings, and we had Ningo Masha and Shoes or Thabo Moki there in the middle. We knew this is the starting lineup. We are going to play like this. We knew Chiefs is going to play 4-4-2 with very creative wingers. We were dependent on wingers to create things for us. You understand? Those kind of things, I understand what you're saying. We knew what we are going to watch, what we are going to get at Kaizer Chiefs. And if Regelo Tatileo, we knew it was a matter of, it was in our day. We maybe it was Regilo we were just unlucky on the day. It was in our day, it happened. So we just want that. I get what you are saying. And also, it is not wrong for us to want to be more standard thing. Some mamelodi Sundowns. But because that's our standard. We've been there before. You understand? That's the thing. When you've been there, you know you can be there. So why can't we be there? It's not like I don't want to disrespect other teams. We are not like other small teams that were never there before. So they just want to be in and around top 4, top 8 and all that. We've been there winning trophies each and every year. It was a disaster if Kaizer Chiefs won just one trophy. It was a disaster. We were used to winning 2 trophies per season or 1. Sometimes we even took all the trophies when we were doing Operation Tega Iguasu. Exactly. You understand? So now for them to expect us to understand when we can't even get 1 trophy. Oh my God, it's abuse. It's abuse. This is abuse.
Hey, thank you, Tebza. Look, guys, before we move on to the next topic, all I want to say is I think all I'm asking for is functionality. Things that Chiefs are broken from the field all the way up. You see it in how we get coaches. The coaches get the last minute, and a technical director has to be coach. Omong Nali head of scouting and what. Now Sally coach. We see it with the development structures. Remember, Kaizer Chiefs used to have a plan. When you move from Kaizer Chiefs, you come into the team, you know where you're fitting in, you're slotting in, you're sitting behind somebody, all of that stuff. You look on the pitch, you know, okay, Chiefs builds up like this. If we get blocked that way, you build up the other way. Like there's function within that thing. Right now, it feels like, honestly, everyone is flying by the seat of their pants because everybody's doing whatever they're doing. The players, just look at the front play the Chiefs has. Everybody's running everywhere. Midfield, Aiko. Defense now keeps getting caught napping. No one even goes, hang on, let's figure out how to stop it as players, right? It's those type of things where you look at everything, and signings are from Facebook apparently. It's not even to sign for a specific reason or position. It's just, they're popular, the fans love them, I'm bringing them in. Those are the things where I'm like, I question that type of stuff because it's not about like the football and things. I'd love to have a tactical discussion. I can't even have a tactical discussion because everything is everywhere. But anyway, guys, we need to move on. Our next one is going to be Mamelodi Sundowns versus Richards Bay. In the queue, if you're in the queue and you're going to speak Chiefs, guys, we've got 2 matches to cover and 4 other teams to speak about. So please, if you're not going to speak about Sundowns, please unrequest and let the people in. Mamelodi Sundowns played Richards Bay to a 1-0 win. Mamelodi Sundowns scored literally last minute, if I'm not mistaken. Literally last minute through Mendieta after being frustrated for a lot of the match by Richards Bay. The stats, Mamelodi Sundowns at 13 shots, only 3 on target. Richards Bay at 4 shots, 1 on target. Mamelodi Sundowns at 79% of the possession versus Richards Bay's 21. 651 passes versus 171. They had more of all that stuff. And at the end of the day, Mamelodi Sundowns is number 1, 19 games played, 15 wins, 4 draws, no losses, still unbeaten in the league, 49 points. And then Richards Bay is number 15, 22 games played, 3 wins, 5 draws, and 14 losses for a total of... for a total... Sorry, my maths. For a total of 14 points there, if I'm not mistaken. So, Richards Bay, obviously, luckily, Cape Town Spurs lost yesterday. So, that relegation battle still seems a bit shaky on that side. But they did defend well versus Sundowns. And I think they're starting to show that maybe the low block might be the answer. But in order to low block for a whole 90 minutes, you need to at least be a little bit disciplined in terms of later on in the game. You can't fall asleep at any point because you are going to be taken advantage of. And that is what Sundowns has been doing for this whole time. But I don't want to speak too much. Let me let in the next panel and let's have a conversation about Mamelodi Sundowns versus Richards Bay. Agent, welcome back. Tell me, what did you think of this game?
This thing of forcing us to speak about the teams,
we give everyone time.
But it was a good game. You know? Again, we saw what did Orlando call it? Reinforced defense. I was very hurt, to be honest with you, on the live, just that I couldn't join in. That I just felt like the guys are just being harsh on the team, you know. And you know, when I say you guys, I don't necessarily mean, but because I just feel like it's very difficult when there's 11 men behind the ball, like 11, you know. Those guys are not moving. Like, we try to like attract them, they were not moving, they're just there, you know. If you see Dennis Onyango, not one of the ball playing or modern keepers, almost in the center line, you know, the center back line, I mean, then you know that, this team is sitting, you know. And like I said, maybe they saw the younger game and coach Kanu, as he is a good coach, like, this work, you know. I'm not sure if I can win this game, but at least let me try and get a draw, you know. And he went there, playing for a draw, and he was just unlucky on his side not to win the game, you know.
No, not to draw the game.
Yeah, in order to draw the to lose the game. He was unlucky to lose the game, you know, and because he defended well, you know, like, even when you're moving them side to side, you know what happens? The reason why sometimes you go sideways, down the middle, sideways, down the middle, sideways is we are trying to shift the defense, you know, so that one can get out of position. But those guys were just rigid, you know, and it was very frustrating as a Sundowns fan. But I think for them it was a good approach, you know. And I heard Rulani on the interview saying, I wish they can play the horizontal pass, you know, so that one bad touch, we can pounce on it. And that is hopeful football. It's not a tactic. It's just, guys, let's just play through ball. Something happens, we pounce on it, you know. But again, and remember, we played on Saturday. The team arrived on Sunday. We could only prepare for this game on Monday, you know, and against not the best team, against a whole new team, you know. So sometimes I look at all the spectators and like, I have to be patient with this kind of play, and I have to forgive them. Even if I've drawn, I'm still gonna be happy with the draw and take it.
Okay. I'm gonna come back. Let me bring you Kabilite. Welcome to the show. How are you?
My brother.
No, I'm good, my brother. Tell me, what did you think about this Mamelodi Sundowns versus Richards Bay game?
A very, 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 very difficult game for Sundowns, especially playing against a team that is fighting for relegation. I think we all know in every league, if you are playing against a team that is fighting for relegation, it's never easy. We've seen Luton Town in England, you know, holding down so many big teams because they are fighting for their spot. So for every big team, playing against a team that is fighting for relegation is difficult. But then again, you are playing against the Sundowns, a team that is used to dominating, and they are used into rotating the ball however they want. And maybe one must congratulate and give credit to Coach Vilakazi. I think Vilakazi was on the bench. if I'm not making mistake for Richards Bay. He came well prepared and planned. There is something that Pitso said the other time when after he beat Sundowns. He said sometimes it is important to win the match, not the entire cup. You have to play. You have to play for that particular day. And not worry yourself about tomorrow. So that what Richards Bay came for. Their only focus was the game that they are playing against Sundowns, and they were not too much worried about what is going to happen next. And as a result, they managed to I think for 90% of the game they were disciplined. It was very rare where we caught them off guard. And well done to their keeper as well. Well done to their keeper. He made a lot of saves. Very good ones. But what I've noticed with them is that they were playing according to their positions, which is the most important thing in the game of football. If you are playing against a team like Sundowns, do not fight to keep a ball. Fight to play a ball when you have it.
Okay.
Let Sundowns keep the ball. Let them rotate the ball. Your only thing should be that if I have the ball, I make use of the opportunity that I get. Because in a way that Sundowns is playing, it is highly impossible for you to have a ball. Even in Africa, check in Africa, Sundowns normally complete more than 600 passes in almost every match. So it says to you, these people are used in dominating and keeping the ball. So don't go there and try to fight for a ball. Just come, play by position, remain disciplined. Then if you get the chance, make use of that opportunity. That is all what you have to do. The same thing that that Younger did when we were playing against them. Just remain in your position. Don't panic. Allow them to come to you, but make sure that all the spaces are covered. Do not allow Sundowns to open the pocket.
Okay.
Once Sereno has the ball, once Sereno got the ball, then you know for sure that Sereno will go for a cut. So the first thing that you have to do is to close the space. Then you can deal with Sereno. So I think guys played very well. You couldn't tell that Sundowns is a big team, and Richards Bay, I'm sorry to say, but they are quite a small team, very new in dstv premiership. But yeah, they've done very well. And for Sundowns, I realized that they've rotated, I think, almost everyone. Everyone. It was only Sereno, I think Mtunyelwa. There were very few players who played the previous match. So for Sundowns, it's a flex because they have that affordability to rotate the whole squad. It's a flex, and it is something that doesn't come easy. It comes with a lot of training, a lot of discipline, football techniques, and it's something that doesn't come cheap. If you want to rotate a whole squad like Sundowns and still be able to compete and win, it means these guys are great at what they're doing. They are very great at what they're doing because they are able to have two squads for two cups. Remember, Sundowns, it is important for them to win the league so that they can go back and play the Champions League again. So Sundowns is still fighting for league. 9 games, that is a lot of games. You can't take it for granted. Anything can happen. This is football. So for them to rotate the whole squad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just gonna jump in for time, but I'm gonna come back. I mean, you said something very interesting, which was actually my next question. You jumped into it, but I'm gonna come back. Let me bring in Brian. Brian, how are you?
I'm also meaning yourself.
Ukana. Hey, banner accounts. I'm not gonna then. I'll just stick on Brian. Brian, Brian, how did you see the game?
That game, ne? Honestly, as a
Chiefs supporter.
But
I was
wish,
frustrated.
I
right?
wish someone was here. I wish someone was here. But anyway, it's fine. Go on.
No, man, I'm actually on 2 Live, so I'm sorry for using this account. Okay. As a Sundowns supporter, I was emotional, especially because we had superstars and they couldn't score. But then again, when I realized and actually got my thoughts, it's not our fault because we've been playing so much great football. We're making those small passes. We actually trying to break down the opponent's defenses. Everyone, when they play against Sundowns, they do this low block. Whether we are playing against big clubs in North America or in the squad, or when we're playing small teams like Chiefs, there's a low block. Ne? Like in the past, they used to park the bus, because I get it, how football evolves. Now it's called the low block. And we try to implement different tactics, but luckily for us, these teams can't really sustain it. Like they don't have the stamina to actually continue with their low block. But one thing that we have to commend our physios, our doctors, our what, we've got a whole bus, loads of technical personnel. They actually make our players to have that stamina and to actually go 90 plus minutes, maintaining the high intensity. The highlights for me was seeing young Mabena. Oh boy, did he have so much fun on the pitch. He nearly had an assist and even a goal. And to think that he, out of every Sundowns players, he has had the least game time. So that was what I was happy to see. But yeah, man, and we can't keep saying Sundowns plays this boring game. They'll win by 2-1, by 1-1. It's not our fault. When teams wanna pack the bus, that's on them. If they don't wanna open up, and it's easy to say, nah, man, Sundowns, they should find a way, as if you guys are winning, But yeah, overall, I'm happy.
If you guys don't know Brian,
Violence is the answer.
If you don't know Brian, get up Brian. Oh, hey, what's going on? My TikTok is doing things. Okay, let me bring in Fati Sanani. How are you?
My brother, how are you?
I'm good. Tell me, my brother, what did you think of this game, Sundowns versus Richards Bay?
Okay, first of all, let me start by saying good rest in peace to Luke Flus. And then afterwards, I think I must give credit to Sundowns technical team, past and present. I'm saying that because the way they play, regardless of who's in the pitch or who's not in the pitch, their identity, they keep their identity. They don't change the way they play. It's not gonna be okay if we have Kuliso Mudao at right back and now we've got Zukom Dunyelwa. It's gonna be a different approach overall. They play the same way. They keep their system. They keep their the way they want to play. So I want to commend them for that. The people who are doing who are identifying players, who are scouting players, are doing a very, very amazing job. After watching yesterday's game, I realized that the whole first half, they had no shot on target. 45 minutes, there was no shot on target. Magula was relaxed, but they were keeping the ball. That's the only team in South Africa that's not going to change their structure or their way of playing when they're not scoring goals. They keep their shape. They believe in what in how they play. I just want to commend Coach Rulani. They changed the whole squad. I realized that they rested players for tomorrow's game because they've got the CAF Champions League game against Young Africa tomorrow. They didn't score away from home, so they said, okay, let me rest some players, go with another squad. But the way they dominated that game, that's huge. That's huge. So for me now, what I saw yesterday is that Sundowns played very well. All those players are not used to playing with each other. You're just saying, okay, let me just play Onyango with whoever and whoever, mix them. You've never seen that squad the whole season, but they dominated the game. They won the game finally at the end, at the death. I mean, even if Sundowns didn't win that game, Mina, as a coach, if I was a coach, I was going to be very, very proud, with the display that they played there. But then with the low block issue, any team is going to play a low block against Sundowns. Reason being, Sundowns has what they've done in the past years is the reason why many teams are playing as a low block, because everyone is scared of Sundowns. Who's not scared of Sundowns? Myself as a Chiefs fan, when we play against Sundowns, I'm always scared of Sundowns. Reason being, they rotate the ball, they keep the ball, they are dangerous, and the way they play, I mean, you just need to be cautious sometimes, so that you don't change the game at the early stage, because when Sundowns score, they're gonna keep the ball as well. You're just gonna be chasing the game until the end. So I understand Richards Bay for keeping the low block, because they are in the relegation zone. I don't think Vilakazi and the technical team of Richards Bay, they had winning in their mind. Like they said, okay, we play against Sundowns, a point is enough, a point is fine, it's gonna give us the confidence going forward. We drew against Sundowns. That's gonna give us confidence, so that when we go to the next game, we know that we're capable. Drawing against Sundowns, I think, is a win for Richards Bay. I don't blame the technical team for the way they approach that game. So it was gonna be a huge point. Unfortunately, Junior Mendieta won it at the death. Yeah, but then I'm very proud of Richards Bay for the way they play, the way they the discipline. Defending like that against Sundowns is not simple. Even though it was Team B or Team C, whatever, but then it's still Sundowns. They play the same way, so respect.
No, let me bring in Malooms. Malooms, welcome to the show. How are you?
Great.
I'm right. Tell me, what did you think of this game? Sundowns Richards Bay.
Well, Chiefly, Chiefly, I think our condolences to in-laws here, Kaizer Chiefs current play. It caught us by surprise, and we wish you guys all the best. We are sorry for that. Coming to the game, when we play Richards Bay, I think a record led with Richards Bay. If you look into the past games, we've beaten them by 1-0 scores.
1-0 scores.
We've never. The last time we beat Richards Bay was 4-0 or 4-1. That was about a year or so back. But of lately, it's been all 1-0. And I was, to be honest, very, very scared and agitated towards the end, because we get to 90 minutes and we haven't scored. We've got all the possession, but we haven't scored. I'm not sure whether I should characterize a goal here as a lucky goal. I'm not sure, but overall for me, Chief Nip, even though yes, I'm happy with the 3 points, I'm happy that we're marching on. But I was a bit uneasy, especially going to this weekend's game. I thought we should stamp our authority on the field of play. But again, I'm looking at our starting lineup. I understand the coach. I understand that everybody must get a game time to make sure that we've got those players when we need them. But honestly, I was a bit agitated. I couldn't wait for that goal. I knew it was coming, but it's just that when we reached past 90 minutes, I sort of like saying, you know what, maybe this is one of those throws that we might get. But yeah.
Okay. Guys, please tap the screen. And those who have not followed, please follow. Those who have not subscribed on YouTube, subscribe. Agent, I want to speak about the low block issue, but I want to speak about it from both sides. So, from Sundowns' side, are you as a Sundowns fan maybe worried that teams are figuring out, well, not figuring out, I don't want to make it sound like people are beating you guys, but is it concerning that it's now taking 90 minutes to break down the low block? It's now, there's draws that come out of these low block games. Coach Rulani said there was a specific tactic they were working on, and he said that his players started playing safe at some point. Is there a worry that maybe, towards the end of the season, teams might not necessarily win, but they might figure out how to stall you guys a little bit more, especially if you look at like your younger game tomorrow? And then on the other end, when you look at the teams coming in, yes, we say that the low block is the safest thing to do versus Sundowns. But can I make the argument, or would you agree if I made the argument that, a low block without some sort of threat is going to end up with you losing that game. If that makes sense. So you don't have an outlet. You watch Sundowns play.
Let me start with the last one. I'll come back to the first one. With the last one, you must have a tactic, and I think the safest tactic for a low block of the lowest blocks is to work on your set pieces, because Sundowns is not really taking set pieces, You look at Williams, he's not the tallest of goalkeepers, he's not the peak of the goalkeepers, so you can bully him, Look at our defenders. We defend with a defender. I mean, with a midfielder, And you have Uli Buis or Grant. They're not the most physical, So I think the safest tactic would be to work on the set pieces, Because another outlet would be quick on the counter. But how quick are you going to be when there's 11 men behind the ball? And then again, you try and say, but okay, let me put maybe one player or two players on the defense so that I pin them there. That's exactly what Sundowns wants, because it means you're going to be less men short, So it's like I said, it's a win-lose situation, But like I was saying, at least have an outlet. At least have one run. So if first one run, it's okay, fine. If I have one, it means I'm eliminating two players, because they can't mark 1v1. They have to mark two. So you already eliminated two players by just one player. So already, even the defensive wise, you make an advantage of +3, because the keeper also can't join in the attack. You have your keeper there, So I think you could do that, and I think Chiefs have excelled at that when playing against us,
Yeah. It's actually the point I wanted to make before you go there. It's actually the point. The reason why I ask is because I don't know if you remember when you guys played us and you scored last minute to make it 1-1. I think it was the MTN 8 or something like that. Coach Rulani expressly said that he was afraid of a counter. So he pulled Motaung back. And then when he saw that Chiefs was not going to counter them, he pushed him forward. And I thought to myself, surely when you're playing the low block, you have to play that game where you go, okay, Coach Rulani, are you going to sacrifice Motaung and push him forward and then we hit you? Or am I going to sit back and then allow Coach Rulani to push Motaung up, to push everybody up, to have one defender back because they know you're not going to do anything?
Yeah, like I said, it's a tactics game, and also you look at it and it's like, okay, fine. Who are the most dangerous players in the Sundowns team, right? Besides the attackers. In that line, we'd have, let's say, Ukwetie, and we have Uli Buisa. And then we'd have AB that side, or Mashego, or whoever, or Mudiba, and then you have Motaung, right? Then the problem comes, Kwetie, Lubusa or AB is a slow back line. Even if it's Mudiba that side, Mudiba tucks in, he's missing there. So you are going to eliminate Motaung because Motaung is quicker. So you have to drop him, you have to take him there. Alende, you can't go that deep. You have to have one line because you are quicker. Even with Tebuho, you don't go that deep, because you're a bit faster than our centre backs. And even when you win the ball, because they're going to be so worried about you, they're going to commit fouls. If you look at our past games, we're not receiving as many yellow cards as we used to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because teams are not countering us. So when you counter, you are creating so many problems when destabilizing the team. The mokwena attacks knowing that I have to go back. Alende doesn't go that deep. Motaung, Kwetie and our centre back pairing is that is not that quick. So you have to make sure that you are back. And also mokwena, Umudiba is overlapping, so you have to have one eye back. And also when you do attack, they have to commit fouls because numbers at the back are short, and that's when you keep capitalize on them. But teams don't do that, which is an advantage to us, But to your question, lastly, I think that one is a brief one. It is concerning, but it's understandable. Pep couldn't break the Arsenal back line, It's because it's such a difficult thing, Like I said, what you are banking on when you're playing against a reinforced defense is you are banking on one of the players being tactically indisciplined,
Mm.
in the sense that they either move out of position, or they create a silly foul, or they become impatient. That's why Sundowns go all the way to the keeper, and the keeper waits and waits so that you press him. The moment you press him, you're creating space where left. So if a team is patient, if the players know that, hey, my guy, we're here to defend, no one's going to be dragged out of position, because the reason why you keep knocking the ball is you want to drag someone out of the position and use that space. But when you've closed the spaces and no one is moving out of this position, it's almost an impossible task. But the question is, it is super tiring. It is extremely tiring.
Mentally and physically.
Not just physically, but mentally. Exactly. So this is why at the last moment, the 95th minute, no one is picking up the run of Mendieta, because you are tired mentally. I'm sure the players could see the run because he ran in front of them, but you're like, I don't have the energy to go there, both mentally and physically. So I think that's the thing again with reinforced defense, because it takes a lot from you.
Okay. See, it's so nice. You can have tactical chats when you're speaking about Sundowns. Tell me, same two questions. Low block. Are you worried, or should Sundowns be worried that this low block that's happening, teams are starting to take it all the way to 90th minute? Boyang are taking it to a 0-0 draw. Who knows what happens when you get better competition in the Champions League? Yanga might be able to do something tomorrow. Then on the other end, I understand that people say low block is safe, but you can only get hit so many times before something happens, especially if you're not hitting back. Is that as safe as we think it is?
Firstly, back to your question, am I worried as a Sundowns fan? The low block. No, I'm not too worried. It is worrying, but I'm not too worried because we've seen this like in so many instances. We've seen this during a Pitso era. Where teams were starting to park the bus, so now we won't be able. But we've got a very good technical team. I don't want to talk about the technical side of the opponent, but I just want to talk about Sundowns. Sundowns got a very good technical team, very good players with individual brilliance who are good technically. If you look at the likes of Themba Mshishi, Motaung, Mokwena, Mbule, Zungu, Divine Lunga, those are the players who can read the game, and say, you know what, formation is not winning, or we are not winning with this. Now let us try this, maybe let us bring Ribeiro more front and have Zungu come to pinpoint those passes, or let us have Mokwena playing more deep now and trying to bring Mudau to go up a little bit so that we can and try and have the ball inside the 18 area as much as we can. So for me, it is I'm a little bit worried that it's going to affect our performance in a tournament like Champions League, because in Champions League, one game, you miss one game or you lose one game, you throw one game. One game is very important, unlike a league where you have 30 games to play, you have 25, 30 games to figure out your next move. With Champions League, should Simba tomorrow scores one goal, we are done. We are done. So yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried in that sense. But with regards to, or like in general or in overall, I'm not too worried. Now, to your second question, is low block a way to play when you're playing against a team like a Sundowns? Definitely no. Definitely no. If you look at Orlando Pirates, one thing I enjoy about playing in Pirates is that it's an open game. Pirates will attack you. Pirates will play their ball, regardless if it is perfect or not, regardless if they win or not, but they will play their ball. They will come at us.
Yeah.
They will force us to defend with 3 defenders. Unlike other teams where you will have Vala
and Williams playing the sweeper.
Mm.
You know, and it is very embarrassing to see a keeper playing a sweeper. You know, so for me, I'm not worried with that. But with our DSTV Premiership, it is very concerning because you can't be defending the whole 90 minutes. It is impossible. It will catch up against you. I mean, to catch up with you. I always say the way you play today determines how you're going to play tomorrow. You may lose today, but if you lose in style, we know that there's a chance that tomorrow you might win the next 3 or 5 games. But if you lose today and you lose like a coward, it says to us, you are going nowhere. You have no plan. You know? So for other teams, if they think playing low block is the way to get or to stop Sundowns, then we have a problem as a country.
Okay.
We have a problem as a country because,
No. Thank you. Just for time, I just need to let everybody in. Brian, tell me, same 2 questions. Are you worried at all that now we are doing this, everybody's doing this low block and Sundowns, you know, where it used to break down a bit easier at some point. Now it's getting a little bit harder and the competitions are getting harder themselves and the opponents are getting better and maybe more technically disciplined, right? Is that an issue? Do you feel a bit worried about that? And then on the other side, the guys who are playing Mamelodi Sundowns, man, can you box like this the whole game and think that nothing's going to happen without you throwing a fist? Is it really a safe way to play?
We see, as much as I'm not fond of Chiefs, the English Chiefs doesn't play us like that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, man. You know what? I agree. I can't blame them. And also, as much as they're playing a quarters game, it's also making us stronger. Because when more and more teams start to play us the way every other team plays us, then it makes us actually, I don't know, are immune to this system. We're going to find creative ways to actually go for it.
And you get to practice.
I don't know if you caught the Mendieta interview after he scored. He said that mokwena, rulani, said they should actually pass the ball, you know, play with your feet. And he took a chance, and that's how he was able to score, you know? So it shows that our players can do what their coaches do says they should do, but also they're also taking tuition of them on their own to actually find ways, creative ways to win. And this time it worked, so all is forgiven. Yeah, man, this thing is actually frustrating in terms of like they aren't taking us personally on. And on the flip side of things, because of, you know, our keeper, our keeper has ADHD, meaning that he's got a low attention span. Like when he gets bored, because these opponents are not testing him, when he gets bored, he might actually do his abracadabra and actually do magic with his Damvala and give us an own goal or a penalty. That's the only fear with this low block. Ne? But at the same time, it's also flattering. It shows they're giving us respect. They consider us as a big team because you will never play a low block against any team in Soweto, you know? But yeah, that's all I can say for that. But it's boring, to be honest.
Violence is the answer.
Let me bring in Patrice. Two ways to look at it. Low block versus Sundowns. Is it a worrying thing that should be a worrying thing for Sundowns that now teams are taking it all the way to 90th minute with this low block thing, number one. And then number two, the teams that are playing low block, can you play low block for 90 minutes without having a viable threat when you get the ball back? Or is it just about trying to, you know, take the time or live out the time?
For me, it's a valid risk because when you play a low block, there are many ways to break a team. Overthinking. In my opinion, Sundowns is the only team in South Africa that can play in between the lines. They can break you in any way. So in my opinion, it's a very, very risky approach when you try to play a low block against Sundowns because they can break your. Okay, you can say, oh, wait, we're keeping a low block, and then Tibuko Mokwena shoots from 30 yards out, and then 1-0. What do you do from then? You change your plan. But then the whole week you're
Then you get
practicing,
caught
we're going
even
to keep a
more.
low block. Hey, we're going to keep a low block. But then they score very early, maybe from a shot from range from Tibuko Mokwena. Then you don't have a plan. So I think it's a very risky approach when you play a low block against Sundowns, but it can work depending on how your defenders are. If your defenders are disciplined, because a low block it requires a lot of discipline. You need to be disciplined. You need to study a lot about your opponents. If you're playing against a player, okay, you know that if I land there, you must not give him space. Don't give him time to breathe. You must study a lot. So for me now, it's a very, very risky approach, but then it can work at some point. But you must have a way of saying, okay, if Sundowns are keeping a low block, let's just frustrate them for 60 minutes. And then let's use maybe quickie wingers to catch them on a counter attack or something. Let's get a goal instead. You must have a way of saying, how do we then attack? Maybe on a counter attack, something like that. But then besides, if you're just keeping a low block, hoping that Sundowns won't score the whole 90 minutes, you're gonna get hit. You're really gonna get hit. So in my opinion, it's a bit safe but risky at the same time. But then it can save you from maybe an embarrassment, but then it can't save you from losing a game. So
should Sundowns be worried about these teams that are playing low blocks? And now, the low block used to break 60th minute, 70th minute, 40 minutes at times. Now it's going to 90 minutes.
For me, not really. They shouldn't be worried, because they have a lot of ways. It even helps them to find new ways to break, the low block. Which now these teams are taking it to 90 minutes. What do we then do when they keep the low block? Okay, Tibuko Mokwena, when you get a ball from 25 yards, take a shot. Okay, we have a player who can dribble. Just get into the box, get a penalty, 1-0, something like that. I mean, there are many ways to score a goal. Even if you're keeping a low block, you can still concede, even early in the game. So a lot of teams makes mistakes. So I don't think it's a worrying factor for Sundowns. It even helps them in training so that rulani now have to go back to the drawing board. How do we break a low block? For me now, it's not really a worrying factor.
I just want to say, Kiama, thank you for the donut. And thank you to those who are commenting on YouTube. I'm going to come to your comments just now. Not Chicho, thank you for the gift. Malums, same two questions. Is the low block a viable thing for other teams? Because now, we've got evidence that a low block yako can last for 90 minutes, but you will lose that game, as have a lot of other teams figured out or found out. And then on Sundowns' side, do you get worried that maybe there'll come a time where you play a better opposition and they're a little bit more disciplined and can maybe see it out?
Well, OT, if you look at the issue of low block with the Sundowns, I think is a product of our own doing when we play, especially now when we play in Africa. Because if you remember, teams in Africa used to come at us until we beat Ahly with that 5-2. That 5-2, that's when the teams in Africa started to wake up and say, you know what, maybe it's not best that we take this team on. Maybe you must just sit back and see and try to figure out. But and if you look again, when we play in Africa, the last game we played against Yanga, they had 5 defenders. They had literally everyone behind the ball. So it might help. But I'm saying that the problem, now especially going to a game of tomorrow, is that one, keep that low block and hope, like we are seeing maybe during the week, we hope to extend this thing maybe beyond 90 minutes extra time and maybe go to penalties. But the problem then is that Yanga have watched the recent African Cup of Nations and they know now what they are facing on penalties or Ronnie Williams, which is now the best goalkeeper in Africa for now. So now also you've got that thing to say, can we risk it to take this thing to penalties? Because take it to penalties, you're going to be faced with this goalkeeper that can save a lot of these penalties. So now, what are they going to do? If you come up to Sundowns and challenge us, you might beat you within that 90 minutes. maybe it will broke with the league, with the clubs trying to, be on a safe spot coming towards the end of the league. Nobody wants to go to relegation to say, you know what, I'll take a nil-nil score against Sundowns any day. So maybe a roadblock will work. But going to India's Panane Africa Cup of Nations where you actually need results to advance, I don't think for Iyanga tomorrow is going to work. I think they will have to come out and say, you know what, let's play. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be faced with a mammoth task of going past. They can go and hold for that 120 minutes, but I don't think they will hold past Oron Williams. So I'm looking at the betting scores for last. The betting scores are giving it to his Sundowns. But yeah, in terms of us, is it good for us?
I wanted to ask you, is there a scenario where Yanga goes, you know what, guys? We did not play Champions League last year. We're playing this year. Is there a scenario where it gets to 70th minute, let's say, and Sundowns, the pressure goes on to Sundowns to try win that game? Is there a scenario where you see flashbacks of We Dad maybe, and then you try and win the game, or maybe Rulani does the kitchen sink type thing that he did versus Richards Bay, where he threw everything at them? Is there a scenario where maybe Yanga is actually preparing for that when Sundowns gets to 70th minute and they need to win the game for their reasons, Club World Cup and all of that stuff? Does the pressure shift?
I think the pressure is always on the Yanga at this stage because Sundowns can play for that 90 minutes. They are very patient. They know that they will get a goal somehow. But as soon as Yanga start getting greedy and start pushing forward, then they know that they are going to get hurt. They are going to be sorry for that. But again, they are sitting now in an impossible position because, as I said, if you don't attack and you are waiting for for the lack of penalties, you're going to be facing with something else again. So Sundowns got these different layers of defense that they've been put in place to make sure that we get the positive result at the end of the day. So whether Iyanga comes at Sundowns or they are sitting there for tomorrow, it is for them. It's a no-win situation. They can come at Sundowns, they're gonna lose. They can sit for 90 minutes. End of the day, they're still going to lose. So I don't see them going through this. I don't see. There's no possible way that unless maybe they can say catch us on a break on the last minute, like they tried to do the last time, and score that last minute goal, maybe. But again, it's only if Sundowns is sleeping, which I don't think at this stage Sundowns is willing or will afford to do.
Okay. No, Malums, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to the panel that joined me now. We're going to move on to the final topic of tonight, which is Pirates. But I guess before we move on, I just want to say, I think there will come a time where I can play a low block and there'll be pressure on Sundowns. The way I view it is that going into the game tomorrow, Yanga is not under pressure to try beat Sundowns. In my mind, I think Yanga is a grateful to be there type team. Like, they've got nothing to lose. If they lose and go home, they've had an incredible year. They couldn't qualify for Champions League last year. But I'm sure, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I'm sure there is a point in the match where you realize that Sundowns needs it more. Because the truth is that Sundowns needs it more. And it might not be Yanga that does it this time, but there might be a team in the semifinals that thinks that way. There might be a team in the final that thinks that way. If it's Ahly Sundowns in a final, let's say, of the Champions League, I think the Sundowns, the pressure would be more on Sundowns because they need to chase to go get that star. Ahly's got it in the bag. They might be afraid of Sundowns, but what will happen, right, if it goes down to 70th minute tomorrow and Sundowns has not scored? Does Rulani blink? Do his players get excited? Do they want to go to a penalty shootout? Because in as much as Williams showed his penalty stuff in the AFCON, do you want to go to a penalties where anybody can win, especially if you're playing a team that's meant to be quote-unquote lesser than you? So is there a scenario where the pressure flips? But anyway, let's get into Pirates. Guys, people in the queue, please remember we're going into Pirates right now. Yesterday, Pirates played the Swallows in the original Soweto derby. The game ended 1-1. Swallows had 5 shots, 2 on target. Pirates had 18 shots, 3 on target. 77% of the possession. 635 passes versus 206 from the Swallows. It came very late. The equalizer by Pirates. They started pushing in the second half, but a little bit of that mentality that Jose Rivero himself referenced, where he said his players at the beginning of the games, they don't switch on. And by the time they need to switch on, it's almost like they need to be down in order for them to rise back up and play up there, instead of them playing up there from the beginning. And we saw it in this Kukune game where they went 2-0 down and had to come back to 2-1. Still lost that game. We saw it yesterday versus Swallows, a Swallows team that also chose to defend at the end of the game. A team that scored first. They managed to score first, but then Pirates was chasing the game and only could get to 1-1. There's a lot of things that happened with the referee as well, a lot of decisions that didn't go right. But at the end of the day, it ended 1-1. Swallows got a point, and where they're sitting currently is that Pirates is number 4, 22 games played, 9 wins, 7 draws, 6 losses on 34 points. And then Swallows is number 13, 22 games played, 6 wins, 7 draws, 9 losses, 25 points. Okay, so let me let in people and let's talk about what we saw in this game. Very Mtaka Baba, welcome.
Hey, Bafo kunjani?
Hi man, you're right, Bafo. Ngicela ungikhulumele lapho just a little bit look flues man.
Hey, Takaba. Hayi sivuswe izindaba ezibuhlungu kakhulu man. Hey. Ubabona mawuthi uyalalela kuzothiwa umdlalo ufile usishile ngendlela ahambe ngayo futhi. Kuzothiwa umdlalo imoto ubulawe imoto isizile kanzima isiphithi sakhe. Njengisakhona izo sesiphila kulo kulamalanga ukuthi asiphephe. And futhi okwengasho nje ukuthi emndenini nje ukuthi hayi dudu mana kwehlanga lungehlanga. Yeah. Anginamazwi kakhulu abona ivele ingithusile nje nama ngizwa ngisini. Yabo. Futhi bengayo ukusasekuyo lo ndaba ngicela vele kakhulu lesenteni enzekile abafethu ngathi ngazibheka kakhulu vele because kulamalanga vele emagaraji ivamisekile kwenzeka lento and ikakhulukazi ebusuku futhi uma uthela ipetrol uba uzofika uhlala emotweni nje ikakhulukazi kuvamise ukuthi abafethu athi ngazibheka nje kulezi zinto esiphila kuzo ngoba siyabona ukuthi we are on our own vele lezo siphila kuzo, so yeah zibhlungu zona indaba.
No, thank you, Velile, for those kind words. Velile, Swallows Pirates original Soweto derby 1-1. We won njani game?
Mhlawumbe ukuyoqala ngiyakubona kula mavideo yenza ngiyakubona unengane lapha, ingane yakho le ngiyabona ufana nawe man.
Yeah.
Bahlala bathi ingane yazwe oma wayo hayi le yane yakho ifana nawe ngiyayibona impela.
Ngifuna ukulwa nabantu mina, ngifuna ukulwa next nabantu.
Hayi ngufakazi ngibone. Yeah, ngiyabona ukuthi hayi sesiphumile Harvard. Ebe previous show was bese Harvard lapha. Ngiyakhulunywa labantu be-Sundowns lapha hanya bonke nje.
Ora Velile uyahlupha.
Ufuna ukufana no-chairman wabo. Hayi. Yabona le ndaba sesikhulule manje. Ngiyatshengisa ukuthi ishow khane iqala-ke manje. Khane iqala ishow. Hey kunzima ezini.
Masikhulume nge-Pirates Velile, mara violence. Masikhulume nge-Pirates igame yenu man.
Hey, no, but no, on a serious note, the game as siyibonile e-Pirates, but mina what I would like to take from yona ukuthi you know ngahlala ngisho nje ngithi yazi yabo referee angeke ngiyikhuluma indaba yabo ngokujabula kuyashintshana. So hey kodwa ngiyabona ngathi kimi good ukujabula lokho osama-games amaningi kakhulu angeke kufike kimi lokujabula. So nje hey hayi so seyibuhlungu. But to look at it, Jayona, it was beautiful.
Just that is those mistakes. Pirate had so many mistakes, especially good defense. I think Gogunya on the other side, man, Jose, he's just too good for Pirate. I don't think Uzola, not in a bad way. Good, Akaya's the ends are going. Yes, he's got mistakes there as a coach. But he's too good, man. Do you know good Kubo Pitso or Rulani? Abo referee mabasidla kanje kube they've already made a noise so that the next referee ozojudge igame yethu uyazi ukuthi kuyaliwa lapha kulapha manje wethu coach ulwe kakhulu bambuza
And I have no shame.
ngasho ukuthi hayi kahle bo kahle
Ushilo Pitso ukuthi I benefited.
yeah ngichaza urefoza next ref game yethu bekazowazi ukuthi bayikanye kuba ukhalenda manje wethu coach Hashem uzilungele kodwa singali kakhulu yes the mistake is ukuthi defense yethu esuxolane have said izolo ukuthi defense ye bafana so I think it has cost us it had mistake amaningi in the first half of which it goes back to the point normal that I've raised which is maybe I'm old school or what I just believe in playing players according to their strong primary goals. Like if I can say Uchayini, what is his primary responsibility? Is to save goals, is to make saves and save goals. Legut he will start the play at the back. Yeah, he's a kicking goalkeeper. I'm going to judge him with the save that he make and the contribution is machine and also our defense in the first half when they had the right and the back. Second side, they were also kidnapping. I don't know whether it was the weather or we're going to journey, but on first half we were totally not in the game. And also it's always the passes as well. There were their holes there and there, but also it's system here too with the two defensive midfielders, even though it allowed the talent to go to move for second half. But Uchim Bengabon on the day yesterday. I don't think if we had more player like Kundlo, no talent because we could see with Labata is they only relied on counter and of which they have scored according to our mistakes. I think it would have contributed. But second half we did come to the party. We did see the strongest point Galibito coming on the right hand side as a winger. Not as a left back moving forward because you could see when the second half started. That's his strong point. Was on Chippa United. That's where he was playing. Mufukeng, I think someone just need to sit down with him and talk to him because he tend to lose most of the balls nowadays and he doesn't pass the ball even if the players are in a good position. He just needs to come back again. Maybe because against this right, pass the ball and doing beautiful things. So we just need him to come back, boys. He has but he needs to let him also share the ball. And because now when he gets the ball, he try to go wide and the bar timed him. So yeah. But this was one of the decision went against us. But so far, I think
Go on.
Coach rated sometimes you need to be strong and also crack the whip man sometimes also make early substitution if your body isn't or they're not going according to your way. I mean I'm a substitute about 90, 89 or 85 minutes player. Good you are drawing on it only worked if we are losing when we are defending. Lava Mayas was a later normally Angoli contributing now, yeah. Since
But it's fine. Let me bring it Malumekuto.
ngene phela ngibingelela abafowethu ngibingelele nonke hawu kanti akakungena kubesikazi ngalabantu abaqeda ukuphuma kule panel ebuyayo leya S2 hayi ngale
yes business but Malumekuto. I've purposefully given you guys time. I want to give you guys time. Welcome. Hey Marubeli. Welcome Malumekuto.
You will give it them time, Mr. Oti.
Yeah?
Friend. You will give it them time. I mean, they've had an hour 45. I'm sure we are left with 15.
I'm going to go over. Don't worry. I'm going to go over. I've been watching it. Malumekuto, tell me, firstly, can we just start with some words for Luke Flores who passed on last night?
Condolences to the Flores family. Luke Flores is one of the players from the University of Football in this country.
being a Super Sport United. So you know with the career ibizohlangana at some point. And unfortunately, man, what I take from him is, I'm sorry to do this, man. It's a bit sad that he was on the up and up. Kaizer Chiefs was ready to sign him, and then things just happened. Super Sport Yahana Kayena, and then his dream to play for Kaizer Chiefs did not materialize. Suddenly, he was then released, free agent, had to go for trials, and then just like that, life is taken away from him. It's a sad trajectory to go on when you were on an upward trajectory before that. So condolences to the family and those affected by the loss of this young life.
Tell me, yeah, Malume Kuza, tell me, onto the game. I know some of people were calling it a soccer match. But can you take me through your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, because we're talking about Pirates, Mr. OT, can I just say one line that will tie the three topics? And the name is Usenzo Mbata. When you spoke about Chiefs, it sounded like the problem is leadership. And Usenzo Mbata, Pirates, when we won the treble, Usenzo Mbata then moved to Simba, and they're a powerhouse today. And he's currently, if I'm not mistaken, working at Yanga, and they are in the quarterfinals of it. So it shows what leadership can do for you when we appoint the right person. So I think he ties in very well with the three teams. And the Kuklore, maybe they don't want it. Not with Senzo in the mix. He made us win double treble, Mr. Wuti. Put some respect on the guy on Yanga. But we'll be watching the Yellow Derby tomorrow. Anyway, good game for me, Mr. Wuti. I'd love to push against effectively Pirates didn't play well. Pirates did extremely well, Mr. Wuti, for me. Even in the first half. They were a proper threat. Mabasa missed a couple of chances. Kaheda got a chance. Similar to what Utawa Nunes just scored right now. Pressing goalkeeper. On that one, he was a bit unlucky in that the ball went over the bar. And then there was also that free kick, the edge of the box that we should have gotten, and a booking for the Solos defender, which we all know affects the psyche of a defender. So if you allow people to kick us and you don't book them, that is such much cheating. It means allowing them to get away with murder. You understand that? So even in the first half, the robbery had already started. Lapse of concentration from Usbis. I think more than anything, he needs a serious talking to. I think he has a concentration issue. We've seen him behave like this, go bafana, and we've seen him go Pirates as well, and even at the end. So it means it's easy to tamper with his concentration on the match. I mean, he went and tried to beat up the referee. Well, not necessarily beat up the referee, but verbally abuse the ref. And I think for someone who has donned a couple of times, you should know better, you know. I would understand with the other players, and man, look, I understand the frustration that we are all going through as Pirate supporters because it's getting out of hand, Mr. Oti. And you know, when people have tried to ignore it, I've actively tried to ignore referees, Velli has actively tried to ignore referees, but it's getting out of hand. And you can see when you listen to most interviews of Pirates fans, they're threatening violence against the refs because it's literally getting out of hand, and it's not even an exaggeration when you look at the number of incidents against, and I can still say there's an agenda, Mr. Oti. There's an agenda. Well, it looks like there's an agenda. There is no way a team can be at the receiving end like this, Mr. Oti. So I feel our referee needs to improve in order to be fair on Abanya. It's unfair, Mr. Oti. You work hard, you go to school, you study, and then you finally get your job, and then someone steals your report that you've completed for your boss and throws it in the bin, and they say you're not competent, and you lose your license, whatever you've done. So that is exactly what's happening with Pirates. They're working hard, and someone is choosing not to give them rightfully theirs or give us what rightfully ours. Because we deserve penalty. We deserve that goal, Mr. OT. We can forgive them on the goal and say maybe the assistant ref could not see the other side, the player playing Umbat on side, because that player was directly in line with Umbat. You understand, Mr. But when it comes to a penalty, it's too much. When it comes to the little fouls that we're breaking play, it's too much, Mr. OT. The serious investigation, serious inquest. I want to kind of thing, analyze the game, but I will be unfair on the boys, Mr. OT. Zero, 9-9. Let's again. And you know, when it's too blatant, that's when I hear over saying Jose was quiet. Actually, Jose went into the field and went for the ref after the game. I understand. Mantan Niggas went for the ref after Angfuni, yes. You can move on alone. Angfuni. Jose went for the ref. Manja went for the ref. Even Ndondlo went for the ref, Mr. Oti. It can't be. We can see it. It's getting out of hand. Too much, Mr. Oti.
Okay. I'm gonna come back. PK, send me a DM about the problem that you're having there with the subscription. Send it over, and then I'll help you out there. Anthony, tell me, what did you think about this game, Swallows versus Pirates?
My man. The main problem yesterday was the referees, because I don't know what is happening. The referees against the Pirates, but anyway, on the other point, Pirates is changing players too much, chopping, changing. I think it's affecting the fluidity of the team. Even this guy, Hoto is playing more left back, but I don't think it's working for us because we have Mayala is back. The young boy yesterday, I think he was supposed to be substituted after halftime game because he was not on the game yesterday, and he didn't push really hard like we know him. I think the suitable position, if we give that young man a free role, because yesterday he picked at number 11, but it was not working for him. He enjoyed playing a free role. I think if you can put Mile at the left back and then push forward, I think we have won that game yesterday. Even the substitute, our coach take long to substitute. If you substitute 90 minutes, you bring a player 90 minutes, what do you expect him to do? He can't do anything. So I think if you can start substituting around 65, 75, those players from the bench, they can bring impact on the game. Yes, but if you wait for you frustrate them, I think some players they were very frustrated to be brought in the game at the 90 minutes. If you bring someone at 90 minutes, his mood is very, very low. He can't do anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
go on.
I think that's basically it. I think these players, they must push. Sometimes, especially the players who are playing in the middle, most of the time they delay attacks. They don't pass forward. Player like Tim is a strong guy, but sometimes he's lazy. I think he's lazy sometimes because he delayed passes, he delayed counter attacks and everything. So I think he must up his game. Tim and Ndondlo is not in the Ndondlo of the last season. I think they must up their game because we can't let Sundowns do as they play every season, but you have good players at Pirates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna come back. Let me go to Velile. I want to speak about Indaba first half because Jose, it's something that Jose spoke about as well, that it seems as though the players, fine, they might be playing, fine, they might be passing the ball and doing all those things, but agna intensity. And intensity Pirates, sibone makali second half. What's happening that Pirates guti bangavugi early on?
Ngatsho nje like as I said angazi ngiyazwakala yini because I normally get
Ezwakala.
mangingena live mina ngithola i-feedback ebuya kimi and mangilalele yonke into ihamba kahle ngathi kukhona umuntu ongicuphile la ngathi nami ngizoba umlisi sinqakula la akhona umuntu olalela amafoni mani serious
Alright.
hayi into engaseyizwe and ke sekuyisikhathi yenzeka le but back on the game now what do Jose say? I think now he's saying it for the third time. So, which means it shows what he sees the problem in it and he needs to fix it. You cannot allow it to happen now and then. Because even if you can see Nange Kaizer Chiefs, he did the same thing. And the players came back with a different mentality on the second half. So, you then show that maybe he needs to address it. It doesn't even need to happen. But also, as I've said, it depends with a different aspect here. It allowed him to change it immediately in the first half. With the introduction of any other players that they might be introduced. As I've said, partnership talent no team. Angiboni as much as the team is like, but that partnership there, angiboni contribute kangako in terms of us going forward. Because they don't even assist in terms of like taking the shots on target. No. That's what the difference you will see. Maybe Sundowns who will take shots outside the box and sometimes they will linger. But on Pirates, we have struggled to see that since but the Undlod is one of the central defenses in our Pirates who always try to go forward and also take those long shots towards goal, especially for
And get the ball from Chain. Chain usually Magna Token is busy. He plays it directly to Undlod.
Yeah, but mina uyayazi leyo ashangizwani nayo leyo man. Umsebenzi ka-goalkeeper akubamba man. Yazi iyo nje sibakhumbuza labantu lapho. So so I think iyo nje ilokho njengoba ngishilo ukuthi he had a chance ukuthi I-rectify earlier on izolo that situation. Ayibonile yena and identify and wakhuluma futhi nangayo. So I think it will help a lot to get those players just to go up and box. If Udlana team epaka ibhasi from the first minute Zoo, surely there's no need for two defensive midfielders. And Kuba West foot mangabe even not even one of them will try and go forward and take those shots and try and to see. Abe afraid instead of like Abe same move as a mock defender. So it will help a lot. That's why it's a good thing he identified it, but he need to fix it mangabe ayiboni yenzeka first half akumelanga azamele i-second half. That's why as it happened good in the second half, you will find only bits of more on his regular position coming from the right hand side, and that's where we even get the goal. And did you see Uhoto Guti? Uhoto Samstraf on left back. Umayela need to go back to his position. Uhoto need to compete no Mufukeng on the left hand side for that position. If he's strong coming from that side, he's strong because you could see on second half he's strong, but the guy is tired. And if that guy he was very Catalan, not overworking him of going up and down from the wing side, I think he contribute more towards getting a goals for him than what he's doing currently. Because he left back for Yena Aika. Mina ngiyala yam overwork uphuma lapha akhathela angafuni lutho umntaka baba.
Okay.
So and also to go back naba A1 nje leka abantu ukhuza ishilo ukuthi I've said Rivero akashongo lot but he went to the pitch. No, I was not only saying about that. Sometimes if he's frustrated with those decisions, sometimes you need to raise them after post-match interview. Like Rulani will do, like but yeah, Nagash, he doesn't complain and say anything. He's always saying, no, mistake now and then. No, some coach must be like Pizza Slanya Boots, who's man of the match, and that's so that it will be on the headlines for the whole week, knowing good the parents coach is angry. He's not happy with what's happening. That's why I said it will work in your advantage in the coming game. The referee will know what we are complaining about. But getting Lamala young king to Jai smooth as out of Lamasa Nipa go to chairman, where teammate to chairman of PSL, we are respecting to go back to sabakijima zakudala abantu akusafani nangazi makulamala kwenze impela ngempela.
Hey, in Pitso, but it's fine. Let me bring it to Malumekutso. The first half thing, I know Pirates wasn't necessarily bad, but you could see the different Pirates in the second half, and it's a similar story when they played Kukune. What causes that, and is it something that Jose can fix? Is it personnel? What is it?
Firstly, I agree no very fully. I miss the days of Abothabo Ngomeni and Benedict Vilakazi, where referees would be clapped for making such decisions. We need someone with that vibe who will let the referee know that their life is in danger and that they should ref properly, or else.
At Overthinking Football, we do not endorse any we don't endorse any violence.
No, good referees should be protected, Mr. OT. Good referees should be protected. And all referees should be protected.
The thoughts
And,
shared by the panel are not those of Overthinking Football as a platform. Yeah.
but in any event, Mr. Uti, yes, there is a need for an intense first half. And funny enough, we used to do that at the beginning of the season. I think we had gone on a long run of games, having not scored in the second half, and all our wins were coming from the first half, and we would somehow switch off. So I think we can fix it, Mr. OT. It's just we need to break the and I think another issue is that we have players with big game mentality who do not know how to turn it on for small games. They understand.
Yeah.
Bayaporeka, man. It's like, for example, a player like Team looks heavy against a smaller team, but when the chips are down and we need Team, you will see with Ayal but when we play against this team, what's the fuss over this guy? They understand. And it's like that with many of our players. You look at them and you think, you're out here, but put Sundowns in front of them, put Chiefs in front of them, put a cup game in front of them, and also something else, something different. You understand? So maybe we need someone who can put an emphasis on the league, and someone who can explain the idea of a league to them. You understand? To say you actually win it by taking every game as a cup final and giving it your all, but in the same breath, by limiting your energy. You understand? Someone just needs to and explain the dynamics of winning the league to them. You understand? But yeah, with that, I totally see it. In the sense of which off late, but I also see which there is a solution to it, looking at how we started the league.
Is the changes and lack of a consistent 11 for whatever reasons, is that maybe what contributes to something like this?
I think it's the attitude, Mr. OT, because when we talk about consistent 11, we can point at many things, but the 11 that was fielded against Cape Town Spurs was very different from the 11 that was fielded against Chiefs. And there were no problems with Chiefs. We were flowing with Saling coming from the bushes, having not played for the longest time, with Libito coming from Chippa United on the bus straight from Chippa United, having not played for some time, but he was there doing the things. You understand? Nabo Mabasa, they were there doing the things. I think even the center pairing was different. The team had not played. Umbata had been playing Nomakaula for some time. But when it came to Chiefs, team came in to play Nomakaula. So that too, I can show you a different 11. So I wouldn't say it's really a different 11 that's a problem, but it's the entire mentality. Any of those players, Mr. OT, had they played yesterday, they would have given you the same thing. I'm not going to lie to you. If you had the same 11, all of them, they would have given you the same thing. Apart for Paseka Marco, who plays every game like it's his last. You understand?
Yeah.
But the others, Mr. OT, and even the young men, and we really touched on this, I think he needs to do better, man. He's a star player, but he wants to stand with the ball and wiggle his leg for ages. No, man. Let's play, young man. You're a very good player. We know you, but when you came in, you were killing players, or you were eliminating players because you had a bit of sense of agency about you. Maybe you need to go back to that. You understand? So I wouldn't want to name him because it's too much pressure. But yeah, Mr. Ochi, I don't really think even in Sundowns rotates, but they still get the wins.
Yeah.
so many other teams, even Stellies, they rotate a bit and they still get the wins in the back. So rotation is not an issue. It's the team mentality that's the issue.
Let me
And by
get.
TEAME, not TIMM.
No stress, no stress. Let me go to today. Tell me, Malume Kusa even expanded it and said it's not just when they have to play these small games. It seems to be in J when they play in the league, they don't have that mentality to go and fight from the first minute. What do you think causes that, and can it be fixed?
Yeah, it can be fixed. The first thing you have to have your trusted first 11, because, like I was saying before, if you don't have your best 11 on the pitch every match, it's going to be very difficult. If you bring new players, every match changes 5 or 6 changes on the starting 11. It causes too much inconsistency on the team, because those players are not used to each other. The players must be used to each other. Then they have to know the strengths of each other and then how you pass to each other. So if you bring new players each and every game, you can have a consistent result. Like I was saying, this small boy Mufukeng, if you play him where he was playing yesterday, you are putting him under pressure, because he's not free to express himself. Is the person who like to express himself when having the ball, but that position was not suitable for him yesterday. It was not suitable for him. I think you can see that Libizo guy was enjoying himself on the right side, and then our left side was not working, was not functioning, because that small boy, he have two men marking him, so it was difficult for him. And you should bring someone experienced in this kind of situations, someone who can manage this kind of situation. But if you throw him on that situation, you are destroying him, because there's a lot of fans expecting a lot from him. Even Hoto, I think this coach is overworking Hoto, because he's covering a lot of space. He's covering a lot of space. I think if can push him forward and then bring Myla there, yeah, maybe the team will gel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, what I'm going to do now at the end, I'm going to give you all a minute to give me your closing statements for tonight. I'm going to start with Velile. Velile, can you give me a minute on your closing statement about your team in the game yesterday? A minute, Velile.
Okay, no, akunankinga mdala baba. No, what we know, vele sesiyabona ukuthi iligi angeke sisalunga sihlulekile. Now we have even made it difficult for ourselves for Ubang number 2. We have made it difficult for ourselves. So, but we have to try. We have to keep on soldier on. We just need to change. As what the coach have said, we have to change the mentality between the cup games and the league games and moving forward, I think. And also, next year for e-league, I think the mentality has to change immediately when the league games start. Singavumeli lababhemi basePitori bavule igebe ekhulu, because isikhathi when this time arrive, mangabe sebanamagame amaningi up behind, and they also need nabo to rotate players. They do it nicely because they've got advantage. But lead 14 points, so it's easier for them. So it mustn't be easy like this for them. I still believe that noma ngahambanga, we can still do it. Would call something at 3 seasons, and he only won trophies on his last season. He didn't win anything first 2 years the contract yake. He only won 3 cups in the last season, which was the 3rd year. So with which you're winning 3 cups in 18 months, I think we can still give him a chance for next year to try. Okay, let's go for the last time. We can see what's happening. Our goal, I think, for next season should be league. Gamma Cups, we've won them. I think we are fine. Let's challenge those guys now. Let's go for the big one.
Okay. Malume Kuta, your closing statements, you got a minute?
Yeah, so we don't to let the future go. We don't need to start the house from the bottom every season. I think he's got a solid foundation of winning. All he has to do is transfer the mentality of winning cups to e-league, and then I think he'll be unstoppable. I mean, who wins 3 cups in the first 2 seasons? You would have to go a very long way to find a coach that can do exactly that, Mr. Oti. So
yeah,
we need to fight for number 2. I still want number 2 for obvious reasons. And yeah, Amachita must just improve, Mr. Oti. Ulagala mdefile today.
Okay, Marakut. Anton, tell me, you've got a minute. What is your closing statement for tonight?
Yeah, all I can say is Pirates must take their chances and forget about the referees, because referees will talk until the season ends. We must score goals. Just continue scoring goals. If the referees deny us the opportunity, we can't do anything. But we must just take our chances and forget about the referee. And the players must improve. Must be willing to fight for the team. Because even the coach, you must not fire the coach. The coach is fine. You just need to fix here and there. Our team is fine. Can still compete for the league next season.
Okay. No, Anton, Malume Kutso, Velile, thank you guys for joining me there at the end. We did it. We covered the 3 matches between that the big 3 played this week in the PSL. Tomorrow is going to be the members show at 12:30 in the afternoon. Then in the evening, we'll be watching Banyana versus Nigeria, and also Sundowns versus Yanga directly after that. So jam-packed day. If you have not followed, please follow. We're going to join each other tomorrow. Guys, thank you to those that gifted me. Kiarma, thank you to Sjijo. Thank you to those who are watching on YouTube. I see you, Lutolo. Kitty, Tandy, TW, Mtokozisi, Miselo, thank you guys for watching on that side. Guys, the episodes are available in full on YouTube. It's not just watch-alongs and reviews of games. We also speak about topics and things that happen. And we've had some incredible conversations on this here platform. They are available in full on YouTube. I also do content myself about football. So please support me on that side too. I've released some shorts, I've released some videos, I've released some other things. There's another live that I do on during the week at sometimes during the day. So please support, like, share, comment. Hey, if you want to be part of the official WhatsApp group where these conversations are even deeper and can go a lot longer, because there's no time limits. We go back and forth. We voice note, we banter, we put in pictures, we do all of that stuff. I have learned so much from the members of that WhatsApp channel. Head on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and then you'll gain access to the WhatsApp group where I can get to hear from you guys a lot more, and I can get to learn from you guys a lot more, because I can only do so much when you're doing the panels. I can only let so many people in, but there is that WhatsApp community that is available. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your support. We crossed 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you so much for helping me get to that milestone. I'm trying to get to 50,000 on TikTok. So please, if you can support me by sharing my stuff, that would be incredible. Guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon. Bye, guys.